Well, hello. Welcome back to another exciting edition of Coffee with Steven. So, this week's blog is entitled Fear and Loathing on Frontier Airlines. As many of you know, about a week and a half ago, I was in Milwaukee doing a USCCA convention presentation. I was one of the panel of attorneys that they had brought back there to pontificate on legal culpability issues and things like that involving in defensive shootings. Conference went absolutely outstanding, and then on the way back, I encountered some issues. Misguidedly, I had chosen to book my flights back to Orange County on Frontier Airlines. Now, for those of you who have flown on Frontier Airlines before, you know what a horrific mistake I made. Now, interestingly enough, as bad as the experience on Frontier was, that's not really the subject of the blog. It was actually the people that I was encountering, not only on the airline itself, but also in Denver Airport, which I had a layover on my way back. Number of months ago, probably now, maybe even a couple of years ago, I wrote a blog where I had suggested that bringing back dueling might actually solve a lot of society's problems. I want to affirm that statement again. The behavior that I saw of people was beyond the pale. On the airplane itself, as we were getting ready to depart, there was a passenger that decided that she wanted to embrace all of her tyrannical behavioral impulses. She started causing a stink because apparently she wanted to sit in one seat versus the seat she was assigned, and she was going to become an immovable object. This ultimately resulted in her being thrown off of the plane and the flight itself being delayed another 45 minutes. The fact that she wasn't arrested actually really is a testament to Frontier Airlines staff, kindness, I guess. Although, to be quite candid with you, Frontier Airlines, the flight attendant staff did a horrific job in dealing with this woman. Both sides seemed to have a desire to try to escalate the situation as much as possible. There was no de-escalation tendencies on either side. And I remember watching this little drama unfold, and I was looking at this woman who seemed like a fairly normal human being, and I kept on thinking to myself, okay, how do you think that this is going to end? Do you believe that the airline staff is going to simply sit there and say, oh, you know what? Yeah, go ahead, sit wherever you want. Not a problem. We apologize for any inconvenience. Of course not. All right. She was putting herself in a position that potentially could ultimately lead to her arrest. But I suspect it never even occurred to her. And this is one of those things where I'm noticing people are engaging in social behaviors with absolute disregard for what the ultimate outcome of that behavior is going to generate. When I got to Denver, I watched a guy, incredibly rude behavior towards a father and a daughter. Nothing purposeful to the extent that he was seeking to actually get directly into their face. He just pushed the father along and basically told him to get the hell out of his way. And again, same thing. It's like, okay, how do you think this is going to end? Why do you naturally assume that the person that you're engaged with is in a massively antisocial way is going to simply back down or acquiesce to your antisocial behavior? In today's day and age, that might quite possibly result in physical confrontation. So the idiocy looms large. And what was also interesting is that while I was at the airport, there were a number of signs that had been deployed basically telling people to mind their manners. This, in and of itself, I found to be incredibly problematic. We have now reached the level where the state needs to admonish us to being civil human beings. All right. And there's all sorts of social ills that are manifesting within our society. I think we all would probably agree to that. The question that I have is, why is antisocial behavior now becoming essentially a social norm? And I do have some suspicions for that. I think that it might be a direct result of the isolation that people have engaged in, the anonymity that naturally comes with participating a lot on the internet, or it might also just be that there's a lot of people out there that are kind of assholes, but that all notwithstanding, I do hope you enjoyed the blog. As always, train constantly, train consistently, train repetitively, and train with purpose. Above all else, stay safe.